Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. It is your host and founder and conductor on this wild ride. I think I need to take down as many. Don't fall. There we are. Speaking of made in Mexico fenders, well, we're going to talk about a little bit about Mexico today, about Mexico. Let's get this light on. There we go. Now it's a little better. Welcome aboard, everybody. Happy New Year. This is the first stream of the new year of 2024. Our 10-year anniversary of ARC. We'll be having plenty of events and plenty of stuff happening this year. I got a lot planned. I got a lot put out. I think we're going to be having a good year. I think it's going to be our best year. We're going to start. We got a video that I'm starting to work on. I got time set off on Monday. I'm going to finally get to sit down and actually edit a video finally. We'll be getting that done. We'll be finally getting back to that. So, Happy New Year, everybody. Hello, David Jackson, Osman Hussein, the Holy Donut, Star Force 97, and to the audience over on Discord. Welcome, everybody. Welcome aboard. This is going to be a good stream tonight. Hope you all are strapped in. Got a drink. Got myself some eggnog. I made sure to go ahead and get up on eggnog. Christmas for me lasts until February 2nd, okay? Not until Candlemas do you take down the Christmas decorations. I don't care. We should block anything Christmas on November. It should be December and January, because January is a pretty depressing month for a lot of people, because then they see all the Christmas decorations go away and you just get slushy, ugly winter, which we've been having an ugly winter up here in Indiana. It's been kind of ugly. We only had like a little bit of snow on Saturday, which was nice, and then it all went away, which was pretty sad. I like the snow, but that's just me. Okay, let's get started on this, because this is going to be pretty interesting. We're going to start going with Mexico, but okay, maybe first let's go on, because this year is already starting to be crazy. I told everybody I'm cautious about this year. And I missed the whatever news for the last hour, and all of a sudden there's a war going on in Ecuador. I mean, things have been crazy. I mean, check out, of course, what happened in Japan. Here's on the Shinkansen over here. Real dangerous, indeed. Yeah, it has been crazy. Crazy, a lot of things going on. I don't know if Book of Revelations is starting to go. I mean, that's every year, right? At this point, whatever. We're just here. We'll just take every day as it is. I mean, at this point, whatever happens, right? You just got to have to play it that way and let it go from there. But yeah, Japan suffered several earthquakes. It's been pretty crazy over there. We hope everybody who's over there is as safe as they can be, and that they recover pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, look at this. That is Kanazawa Ishikawa Prefecture. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. But look, things could have been a lot worse. At least that country is far more prepared than probably we can ever be. Which is why I'm worried. I mean, look at all we have to do is look at what happened to Katrina. That was an absolute disaster. And I don't think at this. I mean, there's some places that are more better prepared than others for any sort of natural disasters. But I mean, the United States is. If something like this were to happen in California, it's not going to be good at all. I mean, that's going to turn out to look like something from the beginning of Demolition Man or something, if you guys have ever seen that movie. But we're going to just go over this real quick. Japan takes earthquake safety seriously. How its culture preparedness keeps so many people alive. Again, Japan is still coping with the aftermath of the powerful earthquake. History of natural disasters. Japan is one of the countries best prepared for emergencies. A sophisticated alert system, strict building codes, and a prepared population help all. So you can go ahead and look at this article. But yeah, look at here's the differences. Such earthquakes can be incomprehensibly deadly. When a paratremor similar magnitude hit Turkey and Syria last year, the disaster resulted in at least 56,000 deaths. in Haiti, it doesn't have a government at the moment, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake and its aftershock killed up to 300,000 people. In 2005, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake killed at least 79,000 in Pakistan. As of last Friday, the death toll in Japan was 94. 94 people compared to 300,000 in Haiti. That it's just it's incredible the difference in magnitude between that. I mean, I can go from there in whichever way I want, but I mean, look, it's just what it is. The investments that they've done, the building codes, making sure that, over here in the United States where we build these ridiculous Austin blocks, these 5-story wooden structures that are basically a parking lot that's lined around by yuppie, millennial, overpriced studio apartments. Those will fall apart like that in any sort of earthquake. There's no concrete or anything like that. It's like a little bit some aluminum beams or some steel beams or whatever. I mean, not enough. Let's put it that way. There's a lot more wood than anything else in there. If you guys have seen those in construction in anywhere. I mean, heck, the roads here look better than most of the roads here in the Midwest. I mean, this is still better condition than driving through, I don't know, Milwaukee. I mean, look at this. And at least people there help each other. We don't really see that anymore in the United States. Certainly not in places like in Haiti. You're definitely not going to see that. But yeah, this is it's quite chilling what can happen in the blink of an eye. But having a prepared populace and having that long-term vision is like, look, we're the most earthquake-prone country on the planet. We need to prepare and make sure we have everything in order in case anything happens, because it will happen. It's just making sure to alleviate the amount of damage. And look, again, the Shinkansen system over there, the high-speed rail system over in Japan, the 10 billion passengers and 0 operational fatalities, despite all the earthquakes, despite all the natural disasters that happen in Japan, typhoons, tsunamis, nobody has died on a Shinkansen during operation. So, I mean, it's just incredible to see. And my light is gone. Speaking of being unprepared, at some point we're going to start upgrading the studio over here, bringing stuff from the other studio, like the actual light that I have. But speaking of unpreparedness, be careful when you fly. Be careful on what you fly. This is why, as much as I hate on Spirit, at least they have Airbus A320s. Anything else with the Boeing 737 MAX? I mean, this has been how many times has the MAX have had issues? I mean, look at this now. Now, of course, this is just bad construction. This is supposed to be an emergency door, and like, yeah, just bolt the window to there, and that's it. And just have everything just fly out of there. So yeah, you're gonna. The next time you may be flying on Boeing, it may be like that scene out of Fight Club. So here we go. Let's put the. Okay, never mind. I thought it was going to be screaming and stuff, but it's just crappy TikTok music on the... Oh, boy. But, yeah, this is... you never know. You may get a free door on your yard if you live over in Portland. But, yeah, this is the state of our infrastructure here. Again, this could have been a heck of a lot worse. Now, a lot of people think, when this happens to an airplane, if they ever seen the movie Goldfinger from 007, no, one little hole is not going to blow out the entire hole. I mean, if you've ever been skydiving or if you've ever been jumps in the military, they open an entire door and people just, jump out one by one. I mean, come on, it's the same sort of thing. Now, the changes in pressure over like that quickly, yeah, that's the biggest part, is that you have a lot of pressure in here, no pressure out there, and in that split second, yeah, things are going to go flying out. But after a while, the pressure normalizes, and then that's it. But okay, no more destruction, no more talks about wars or any sort of tunnels. If you guys have been noticing what's been happening with that debate. Hey, in New York, maybe they could have just used could have used our friends to go ahead and build the tunnels for the Second Avenue subway. It would have been cheaper. They'll save a pretty penny. You never know. But anyway, let's get to Mexico. So they debuted the Tren Maya in Cancun and the region over there. I will say it does look pretty good in the Yucatan Peninsula. I've been to Cozumel, Mexico, but that's basically that's not even the main area. Anyway, the train itself does look pretty nice, and honestly, this is an interesting article because a lot of the controversy that we see going on with Mexico with this train kind of mirrors some of our controversies that we receive here in the United States when it comes to building our own infrastructure. Now, the funny thing is that, yes, it's still America. It's technically America, right? It's part of North America. Not the United States of America, but it is North America. And, when we talk about Canadian projects and anything like that, it's kind of a broad way to say the American Rail Club. Although, of course, yes, it's the United States that we're mainly talking about over here. But regardless, so check this out. The Tren Maya, once complete, will contain 40 trains stopping at 34 stations across southwest Mexico, including the states of Campeche, Chiapas, Quintana Roo, Tabasco, and Yucatan, and will connect passengers to interior landscapes that are otherwise impossible to access. There's a large section of the interior of the peninsula that doesn't have highways or roads, Marilyn Mason, professor of anthropology at the University of Albany, told the Washington Post. In the more remote sections, this train could potentially help these communities be better connected to the outside world. So this is a good thing, right? Connecting other people together. It's a lot easier to connect a train over to places than it is a road. It's cheaper to build a road, but a train is far more durable. It's far more easier to access and carry a heck of a lot more people with a lot less damage to the environment. And we'll be talking about the environment a lot when it comes to the controversy with the Tren Maya. So travelers will be able to book 3 different train experiences: the Zinbal, the Janal, and the Patal train, or Patal, I guess. These are Mayan words, and Mexican Spanish is a completely different thing than the Spanish that I'm used to, man. I don't know what the heck when they start going Hue and all their other stuff. I just say Caballero and that's it. The Zinbal, which translates to walking in the Mayan language, is meant for standard service to get passengers from point A to point B. Inside the train, passengers will find comfortable seating areas with large picture windows so they can enjoy the view while en route. The train promises to travel at about 99 miles per hour. However, the Washington Post reports this number may be inflated. Now, this is possible to get 99 miles an hour. That's more than possible for this type of technology, for this type of train in this year. Not a problem, but I don't think probably for most of the route, it probably won't be traveling 99 miles per hour. Maybe an average speed of 70 or so, Still a little better than Amtrak, right? Let's put it that way. So you have the Janal train, which translates to eat. Fine dining cars dedicated to serving traditional dishes while traveling through the gorgeous landscapes. The concept of the restaurant was inspired by the work of modernist architect Luis Barragan, a Mexican passionate about aesthetics and nature. The train's website explained, his style is a world referenced in architecture. This model has comfortable space designed to enjoy regional cuisine. Let's take a look at that real quick. Is this going to be taking me to the website again? Okay. Let's see. Here. Let's see the restaurant train. Okay. Well, I would like to see the inside of it, though. There we go. Okay. So yeah, there you go. There's the pictures inside. It is pretty nice. Okay. This is modern, sleek. I guess it's mostly meant for, you have routes meant for the people who actually live there. You have routes meant for tourists. So they're trying to serve a whole bunch of different markets, similar to what Brightline has done, right? Brightline is serving both the residents in Florida as well as the amount of travelers and tourists that come to Florida. So that's pretty good. Now, there is a big difference, massive difference between Brightline and Tren Maya, which you'll find funny. So, as you may know, Brightline is a private company. The Tren Maya is operated and owned by the Mexican Armed Forces. And this is the actual military force of Mexico. Yes, it's not a company called Mexican Armed Forces. No, it is the actual Mexican Armed Forces. The actual Mexican military owns the Tren Maya. So, there's a big difference between the stability of Mexico and the stability of the United States. As if you are in the know of politics and news worldwide, you're very aware of of Mexican politics and the what's going on over there. And it's it's not the best place to live in some places. The Yucatan Peninsula is better than most. Again, it's just, from whatever we hear in the news is what we hear. It's different than actually living there, yes. But, hey, there's still people that are still traveling over to the Yucatan every year or so, going to Cancun. So, I mean, hey, it's what it is. So, we'll keep going over here. So, let's see. It should be noted that while the train does come with plenty of promise, it isn't without its controversies. For starters, the project is already widely over budget. The original project cost sat at $8.6 billion, which is with every project that we've seen so far. The Mexican Treasury Secretary Rogelio Ramirez noted that the final cost would be somewhere in the ballpark of $28 billion. Additionally, environmental groups have argued that the train's planned route may cause deforestation and the loss of habitat to local wildlife, including to jaguars and scarlet macaws. While officials initially claimed no trees would be lost in the train's construction, later reports noted that more than 3 million trees have been felled in the process. Well, it's not good to know that, trees have been cut down for trains. Let's put it this way. The amount of space that a train takes and the amount of damage that a train does versus what roads and the ensuing infrastructure to support those roads, as well as the noise, as well as everybody else driving on those roads, is far less of an impact. Far less of an impact. So that's the thing you got to know. Now, when it comes to cost, I did something interesting here. I just went on Bing AI. By the way, if you guys want a better version of ChatGPT without paying for GPT-4, just use Bing AI. It's already connected to the internet and everything. It's just a heck of a lot better. And honestly, I've just been using that half the time. But I told it, okay, I want you to take a couple projects and I want you to do a cost per mile analysis in 2023 dollars, right? So, okay, it did that. The total cost of the Tren Maya, it put the $7.5 billion, right? Which it would have costed $24.8 million per mile. For some reason, I had that cost already set up. I don't know why, but let me take my calculator, right? Okay, so we're talking about 1,525 kilometers. That's about what, 360 miles or so? No, that's a lot less than that. Oh boy, let's see. Okay, Tren Maya length miles. There we are, 560 miles. Okay, 24. So let's go ahead and put that there. So there we are. Okay, so let's go. So 28 billion, right? Okay, so 28, 123, divided by what we did, 560. So about $50 million per mile. So yeah, that is kind of expensive, but again, compared to the California High-Speed Railroad, it's still not too much. Now, this is kind of wonky over here how it did this. So again, the EA didn't understand when I said, just get the Brightline Cocoa to Orlando expansion. That was a $1.75 billion expansion. It did the whole entire 235, and it put a cost of $7.4 million per mile, which is not exactly what we asked for. So we're talking about, what, 120 miles or so? Or let me see, or 70 miles, right? 70 miles to Cocoa to Orlando. Where's the calculator again? We're doing this live. Here you are, 1.75 billion, right? What am I doing here? There we are. There we go. Okay. Divided by, let's say, 70, right? Okay. So about on par, right? 25 million? About on par for that expansion. Of course, the worst of the bunch over here is the New York 2nd Avenue subway expansion, which is the most expensive project per mile in human history, costing at $1.5 billion per mile for a measly 2 miles, which is insane. And again, some other random stuff that I put over here. The silly bus rapid transit line here in Indianapolis, $7.3 million, which is, it better have been cheap. The Cincinnati Bell Connector was approximately $41.1 million per mile. The most expensive project in Europe, the north-south line of the Amsterdam Metro extension, was approximately $1.1 billion per mile. Spain's Madrid to Barcelona line was approximately $23.5 million per mile. Starting to see a pattern here, right? Bordeaux's France's streetcar line that opened in 2022, 15.5 miles for 1.2 billion euros, which is about $81.9 million, which is kind of expensive. But funny enough, in Tempe, Arizona, they built a 3-mile line for $201 million for streetcar. Now, again, none of this is really all apples to apples, right? We're talking about apples to oranges to tangerines and mandarins. Okay, that's kind of what we're talking about over here. So not quite one for one, right? But again, you're seeing the differences in cost per mile. In Europe, it's for some of the similar projects, it's cheaper over there. And Mexico was about on par with everybody else. So again, it's expensive for Mexico, knowing Mexico's economy, but still, you now have the train service there. So that's what it is. So tickets going as low as $43 for tourist class and up to $68 for premier class. Officials have said locals will be given a preferential rate to ensure the train really is for all. However, expansion noted that the pricing has not been made public yet. So hopefully the actual people who live there will be able to use the train for a fair price. But let's see. This is not something that I believe the Mexican government was looking to really get a profit out of. They wanted to build something to get something there. And that's kind of been the cost concerns with that going in there. Now, there's a lot more that we can go into with this. I think it deserves its own video to take a deeper view into not only the thought behind it, but what is also going to impact and the long-term impact of this project as well. Not just in Mexico, but the ripple effects here in the United States as well as the rest of Latin America. And see what can come out of this and what lessons we can learn from it, right? So again, this has been sort of the thing, right? We're not too different from Mexico in some of this. The amount of costs that it has, the ballooning costs, the corruption within our own government as well. Maybe not as bad as Mexico, but I mean, hey, one cartel is another cartel. It's whoever's in charge, right? You can kind of tell our own government's kind of a mob in itself, but that's for a whole different channel. So originally projected at $7.5 billion, the Tren Maya will cost more than $28 billion. Government officials have said tickets will range from $67 to $107. And that's again the tourist tickets, right? We don't know exactly what the prices are for the actual residents in the Yucatan. It is one of several signature Lopez Obrador's battling delays and spiraling costs. A refinery under construction in southern Mexico has yet to produce usable gasoline, despite being inaugurated in 2022. And New Mexico City Airport he opened over 20 months ago has yet to draw much passenger traffic. Okay, now, again, we're not so different, you and I over here, because back in the other part of Latin America, Miami, if you want to call it that, Amtrak's move to the Miami airport station is still in limbo. We'll go back to that there. But here we are. In terms of safety, part of the delays in the project is precisely because of these points. And again, the points is trying to slow down some of the construction and try to make sure they do the least amount of damage as possible to the local environment. How much they've really saved from that, I'm not quite sure. That's going to take more of an expert that lives in the area or is more familiar with the project than I am from the 1 week of research that I've done and looking at it and everything else. Speaking on condition of anonymity, the expert told Reuters there's unfinished sections between Tulum, Supijul, and Escargeja. To conclude on time would take massive, lacking coordination between all the project participants, he added. It was a mad rush of the December inauguration, he said. Mexico's defense ministry, which is running the project, did not respond to requests for comment. On Wednesday, a group of activists and divers entered a cave directly below the construction in Quintana Roo State in the Yucatan Peninsula to highlight the train's line's impact on a vital part of the local ecosystem. So, yeah, that's what's going on in Mexico there. But hey, at least they have a train service, and they get it built rather quickly comparatively to what some projects here in the United States. They started this back in December 16th of 2018. And they opened this last month with the extension, the second phase opening this month over here. So, funny enough, Mexico was able to make a not so high-speed rail train faster than California has. That's, again, not so different. Not so different. That's just the way things are going here. But, hey, at least some good things are happening back in our part of Latin America here in the United States. So Tri-Rail will be finally starting service in the Miami Central station. So this has been something that's been quite a bit in the running, and I was part of helping to push this as well, which is called the Coastal Link, to get Tri-Rail to run, to connect their, basically what we call the I-95 corridor to the US 1 corridor, or the more eastern corridor of South Florida, which would connect a heck of a lot more people. Tri-Rail is meant to be more of a commuter rail line versus what Brightline is, which is an express intercity passenger rail line. So Brightline doesn't want to be stopping at a whole bunch of stations. They already have, they're probably just going to stick with Miami. Between Miami and Fort Lauderdale, they're just sticking with Aventura. That's it. They're not going to want to do any more stations with them, because then it defeats the purpose of Brightline. And then between between Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach, they'll have the Boca Raton station. So there you go. That's as much as they're going to do in terms of expanding their stations within South Florida. So the solution is for a commuter rail system like Tri-Rail to stop at stops that are around 2 to 3 miles apart from each other, to be able to connect people along now the US 1 corridor, as it has been doing on the I-95 corridor. Now, there's a lot more people on the eastern side of Florida, of South Florida, than there are on the western side. And there's a lot of people that are living on the western side that work on the eastern side that wish there was a way to connect the two. Hence, finally, this over here that will be opening on January the 13th, on Darius's birthday of all times. The expansion is part of a regional exploding transportation remix underway. Brightline plans to expand its rail line from Orlando to Tampa on the Gulf Coast, and we'll be talking about that on a later live stream, because there's a little bit too much that we're talking about this time. Broward County is planning on creating a light rail to swiftly move travelers between landing at the airport to the cruise ship at Port Everglades. The new Tri-Rail service will be a train-to-train transfer at the Metrorail transfer station in Hialeah, where a shuttle train will provide direct access to Miami Central and downtown Miami-Dade and back. The service will start January 13th with 6 trains going each direction for 2 weeks. Tri-Rail posted on the social media platform X, more trains will be added incrementally to the schedule. A full fleet will consist of 26 weekday trains, 13 in and out of Miami Central. So that's a good thing. And if you can check out Miami Central, they do have the Tri-Rail platforms. They've been there since they started construction, because that was the whole plan of having it there, to make sure they could be able to have Tri-Rail come there at some point. So this has been, 7 years in the making, more or less. So, hey, not so different, right? But at least we got Tri-Rail going over there. Again, it's a difference between what a government-run system is doing with Tri-Rail with the RTA versus what Brightline has done. Again, there's some differences, but at least you have some cooperation and some private public partnerships going between the local agencies and the company. So let me go ahead and get the Tri-Rail platform so you guys can see that. It will appear. Oh, no wonder why it's not finding it, because I'm using a Brave image search. See, when you really want something, you do have to use Google, because Google is just the better search engine. That's just what it is. Miami Central platforms. Here we go. There we are. It was the first thing to pop up. Okay. Look at that. we go. There we are. So, I don't know if you guys can see there. So, if you visited Miami Central, and it's gone. And it's gone. Okay, let's see if we can find another one. Ah, man. Okay, let's wait. Hold on. Let's see if we can get an archive or something like that. Or you know what? Heck with it. Let's just move it over here. There we go. All right, so there you go. Now you guys can see it. Okay, so they've had the tri-rail platforms over here. These escalators that go over to the empty platforms that have been here. But they're built, they're ready to run, they're ready to roll. There's an east-west connection of a CSX track that links from where Tri-Rail runs over to the FEC section, and then they're just going to put the trains up into there. So that's basically how it's going to work. And here's a better map that sort of explains what we're doing. Let's see if we can open that a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so here is Tri-Rail. There's the stations over here for Tri-Rail on the what we call the 95 corridor, but it splits off over here and then goes straight through the middle of Miami. So there's the Miami Airport Station. Here's the Hialeah Station. So here's the railroad over here. This black line over here that will go ahead and take over to transfer over to the Miami Central Station, and then from here you can be able to go ahead and take Brightline all along this black line over here on the US 1 corridor. So that should be connecting everything. Now there's also the Metro Rail transfer station, which has been there. You can use that to go from Tri-Rail to the Metro Rail. The Metro Rail will take you to or close to the Miami Central Station. It'll take you to the municipal building. You cross the street basically, and then you're at the Miami Central Station. It's a little bit easier to just stay on Tri-Rail, let it go ahead and take you over to the Miami Central Station, and then take your transfer on Brightline to go anywhere up over here. Now, there's still a big missing connection over here, east to west and connecting to South Beach. Hint, hint. Somebody proposed something like that. But hey, that's where we are, and that's where we're at right now. Funny enough, let's see if we can look up the. Let me see if I can find it. The Ghost platform. If you want to talk about what the transfer was supposed to be decades ago. Let's see. Metro Rail Ghost platform. So this has been at the municipal building for forever. There we go. Things that never were. There we are. That's the Ghost platform that they were supposed to connect from east to west Miami-Dade County, and it was supposed to go over to South Beach. That never got built. So it's just there. That's the transfer station already there, but this was supposed to be here, and this was supposed to be above that. But yeah, it's just there, forever haunting us, forever haunting people in down South Florida. I'm not there now, but I mean it's born and raised there, so yeah, it still haunts me. And speaking of haunting, like we said, Amtrak. And I showed Catherine this. We took her on a ride. I rented, for her birthday gift, I rented a Porsche 911, the 992 Gen. It was a base Carrera, but it's still darn good. Good, very good car. But we drove her right around over here because we picked up the car right near the airport. It was right by the station. So I said, hey, look, you see that? That's where Amtrak was supposed to be. It never has for close to 10 years. This has been empty because they made the stations too short for a Amtrak train. Again, it's the silliest thing that it should have never happened. There should have been something that it should not have happened at the first place, right? At the Miami Airport Station, planners had failed to realize any Amtrak train would block busy Northwest 25th Street while loading and unloading passengers. So because the train, Amtrak stays for about a good 15, 20, especially at a main station like this, it will stay for a good 30 minutes at the station, right? Switching out, getting people in and out and everything else. it will be blocking this whole entire road over here. So they never never adapted for that. It took more than 2 years for a $5.6 million signalized traffic detour system paid for by the Florida Department of Transportation to be installed. But by then, Amtrak's management emphasis on growing national network business had changed under the leadership of CEO Richard Anderson and his successors. Moving from Hialeah, where Amtrak's maintenance facility is also located, would require a 4-mile backup move in one direction, and the company would have to begin paying a share of expenses to maintain the facility. However, the Silver Star makes a similarly long backup in each direction daily from a Y east of Tampa to serve that city's venerable Union Station. Another apparent stumbling block, Amtrak also continued to find fault with lease obligations at the $2 billion facility it didn't pay to construct, as revealed in 2022. So again, Amtrak at this point, they've given up. It's like, yeah, we're not using this. We didn't want it in the first place, A. B, you built it wrong. So yeah. But speaking of Tampa, I did see an article this week that service over to Tampa and passenger service to Tampa has been increasing in the last couple of years. So that's good to know, and especially for Brightline. That's a good hint that there is a lot of business. A lot of business to be made, a lot of people to serve in that area. But there we go. Again, not so different. Actually, I think the Mexicans have been doing it a little bit better when it comes to some things that our government has done. Because what Brightline has done is completely night and day difference, right? But again, it's just funny to see the differences. The hullabaloo about the Tren Maya, and like, yeah, this is every day for us. So don't feel so bad, Mexico. Don't feel so bad. All right. Speaking of another part of Latin America, California, I mean. There we go. So, big news finally, which we've been following this for a good bit. And by a good bit, we mean since the beginning of this channel. And still no trains running in California, but they're one step closer now. One step closer, which you all just got to take it step by step, or as they say in California, paso con paso, right? Step by step. So Alstom Siemens shortlisted to bid on the California high-speed rails train set. So finally, these are the two competitors. So unfortunately, and I did say this for the crowd, no Japanese trains, unfortunately. I wish I had like a soundboard to just put like an sound effect or something like that. So just go at home, just say or wherever you are. For those of you who are fans of the Shinkansen, I'm sorry. I told you, it's just what it is. As much as we like the Shinkansen technology, they just haven't been doing well in the United States. It hasn't caught on too well in terms of getting their technology sold over here. But there's still a chance. There's still ways for them to, I don't know, maybe they'll come back to Texas at some point. We never know. Or maybe the Northeast Maglev, which, again, you never know, right? You just, at some point. So, the two shortlisted proposals, the RFPs have come out. It is, the finalists are Alstom and Siemens. Again, what you're seeing over here, that is the Siemens Intercity Electric, or the Valero. That's their top of the line, high-speed rail system. So what they're looking for is, the scope of the work for the contract is anticipated to include the design, manufacture, storage prior to conditional acceptance, integration, testing, and commissioning of the train sets, maintenance of each train set for 30 years, and provision of all spares, i.e. interchangeable parts of a train set for such train sets, the provision, testing, commissioning, maintenance, and update of the driving simulator, development and provision of design criteria to inform interfaces with the facilities, track, systems, and stations, participating in the testing and commissioning of the facilities, track, systems, and stations, the development and provision of information as required to support the certification and subsequent commissioning of the train sets, the operation and maintenance of the train set maintenance-related equipment installed in the heavy maintenance facility, light maintenance facility, and train set certification facility to be built by others. So there you go. So finally, hopefully, well, most likely, how many transitions there? Once they get whoever's going to be settled over here, Alstom and Siemens, we will finally see some actual steel rails not high-speed concrete, some actual steel rails on there. Again, I guess they've been waiting for this to happen, to actually put steel rails, because I guess that's what they're considering as part of the whole entire integrated system that they have this request for proposal for, but that's what it is. So let's see if we can run a poll over here. I know I've been ignoring the chat, and actually we're at 8:40, so I've been kind of on time over here, because I said at 8:45 we're going to open up for speakers here on Discord, and I'm actually running on time over here. So let me see if I can put in, where's the poll? Engage with your audience. Here we go. Start a poll. Who will win the RFP in California? Okay. So we have, okay, let's do it in alphabetical order, right? Alstom and Siemens. Let's see. Let's start the poll and let's begin. Okay, and I hear that Discord is not working right now. Again, I don't know what it is with Discord every single time. I start it up, I make sure that all my peripherals are all connected, it's the right connections. I don't know why it's not working. And even on my screen, I'm seeing green. I'm seeing my stuff green. So I apologize for you. This is what happens. I get so into this, I don't see what the heck is going on over here. Let me restart this. Here we are. Okay, we'll be back. Audio is robot. I can't hear audio. I don't know. Nobody could hear me. There we go. Thanks for the feedback. We'll heck with you, Discord. Not to say the other word. Round 2. Here we go. Okay. Now can you guys hear me? Okay, and then we'll see the poll over here. Okay, so right now with 9 votes in, come on guys, we need more votes. Yep, can't hear you. Okay, good. So I guess next time I have to go ahead, start it, and then restart it, because Discord is silly. But here we are. Okay, so right now it's Siemens with 89% of the votes, Alstom with 11%. Let's see, here we are over here. 2010, okay. Yeah, okay, so yeah, $25 million per mile. Okay, so all right, let's see anything else, and we'll leave the poll going on till the end of the stream. Let's see. Congratulations on your first 10 years. Yeah, this will be our first 10 years, and then we'll see where the second 10 years takes us here with this channel. Good afternoon and happy 2024. Well, I guess where it is in your part of the world, happy afternoon. If I had a flight and found out it was like 737 Max, I would not get on that thing. Okay, let's see. All right, I've caught up to all the. Okay. Oh, Star Force 97 said they also tried ICE technology back in the early days of Amtrak, and we all know how that turned out. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Star Force was talking about here in the chat, so back in the 90s, the Germans wanted to showcase, and Amtrak as well wanted to showcase what a high-speed rail system would look like in the United States. So Deutsche Bahn and Siemens went ahead and brought over their ICE, I think it was ICE 1 or 2, brought that over to the Northeast Corridor, and to suffice to say, it ran. It ran along the Northeast Corridor, but it had to run slowly because the track and everything else, the equipment and the infrastructure of that corridor is absolutely horrendous. It was not up to standards at all. So, in fact, let me see if we can find a video of it, because I know I saw a video of it before. Amtrak 90s. Let's see. There we are. There it is. Okay, if we'll actually okay, so in 93 when I was born. There you are. So yeah, that's the ICE one. Intercity Express.
This sleek Intercity Express or ICE train.
All right, you guys can see this here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the link So you guys can go ahead and see that. Amtrak. Let's put Amtrak on ice. There you are. The greatest show on earth, Amtrak on ice. There we go. They actually did run the thing here. A lot faster than all the other trains on there, but that was the only corridor they could be able to run it that fast on. The rest of it, it was kind of it was a bumpy ride, but the train held up. Yeah, it wasn't a complete disaster, but it went to show, and for some reason now my YouTube is just buffering. But yeah, you guys can see that. All right, 8:45. Let's get this started. Let's go ahead and bring somebody on. Let's see on the audience. We have look at all the hands up. Okay, so David Mitchell again. You guys got 5 minutes each to speak. I want to be. Let's get this closed off. Hard stop at 9:20. That's where we're gonna end it and get to the station. So here we are. Let's go ahead, David Mitchell, and then we'll just go down left to right. Let's go ahead, pop that out.
Hey, well, today been a crazy day. I hit 409 subscriber today, and then when I got home, a tree fell into my kitchen.
Oh, man. That sucks. Oh, hey, congrats on the 409 subscribers, but yeah, the tree in the kitchen, that's, man, how bad is it?
It's bad enough where the tree, you could see part of the tree in the roof of the kitchen.
Oh, man, in the ceiling. Crap, that's even worse. I was going to say, hopefully it was a wall. That'd be a heck of a lot easier to do than the ceiling. Yeah, yikes, man. Oh, man. Ugh.
Yeah, it's storm damage. We had nasty storms here in the Carolinas today.
Yeah, it's been nasty all over the half the United States over here. We had just a nasty amount of rain here, just cold and wet. They said snow. We didn't get any snow, unfortunately.
Speaking of that, I have some funny memes because if you don't know, Brightline real name is Genesis, and he is trying to market this. I made some memes that you might laugh about because Brightline real name is Genesis, so I made some memes about it.
Oh, okay, I see.
But when you were talking about the inner city train down in Mexico, most of people are hypocrites. And I mean hypocrites. Because they would let her complain about that over a freaking highway, you know?
Yeah, and we make this point every single time. It's like, when everybody says, well, I don't want the train because it's going to cause a whole lot of environmental damage. Well, at this point you have a choice because people have to get around it some way. You can walk, or you can take either a roadway, which is going to be a heck of a lot more damaging than the other option of having a train, which takes a lot less space, takes a lot less width, is a lot less damaging, is a lot less noisy. It takes a heck of a lot more people per rail car. So there's really no contest in between that.
I know, and the people down there, they want to complain about the railroad doing it, but the railroad are way cleaner, and they don't complain about the car doing it and the chemical that they spill. Hell, the concrete is probably more toxic than what you use on train track.
Yeah, and I believe the Tren Maya is half of it is electrified and half of it is diesel. It's a hybrid unit, which is the whole thing is fully electric.
Yep, it's fully electric, but there are going to be branches and offshoot that will use diesel propelled units. But the thing is that the people who are complaining about this are actually the bus company. The bus company down there would take about 8 hours longer, are actually trying to get people around there to complain about it.
Well, there you go.
It kind of makes sense. You know?
Yep, there's always some sort of business going around somewhere. Somebody's got their pockets being lined somewhere, and I'm pretty sure, of course, in Mexico, with how the way things work down there, I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere funded some of these protests, and you could probably bring it up to one of the large owners of the bus company, because I know bus companies down in Mexico make a ton of money.
Oh, I know, and with this stuff happening, they would feel threatened. Also, look at the live stream chat, because it's a meme in the live stream chat of Brightline.
I'll check that out. Let me see. Let's go show the
chat. They're funny because Brightline told me it okay with him with it because he had marketing off of it.
That's funny, yeah, for the Genesis unit, yeah. That is funny.
His real name is Genesis, and he aptly changed his name to the Trial Genesis Express.
All right. Any last words before we anything else?
Well, hopefully now that I'm up to 400, hopefully I can get to 500 before the end of the year.
That's always the next step, right? You start the beginning is always the slowest, but once you get past a certain point, you just keep going. And unless you're like us, which have been stuck at 25,000 for years, because I just haven't been able to really do much of anything.
Because that PO89 just passed the Palmetto.
What happened?
Amtrak Palmetto just passed.
Oh, just passed through. Well, hopefully it doesn't go through your house like that. That one Thomas the Train. What was that one episode where was it Percy or one of the other trains that knocked into somebody's house during their breakfast?
Thomas.
Okay.
It was Thomas.
Oh, it was Thomas. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right, man. You take care, and hopefully you can get that roof fixed, because that's a doozy.
Yeah, I know. You have a good one, man.
All right.
Later.
You too. Take care. Okay, we're going down the line over here. Here we go. Minor Tree. Always interesting to speak to you. You're on aboard.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, I'm just going to ruin your day just slightly. If you pull up that thing for the Tren Maya page, pull it back really quick.
Okay. We're talking about the official page?
You can pull up the one you showed from Wikipedia earlier.
Okay, here we are.
Just scroll down just a little bit to look at the dates again.
Okay.
So if you look really closely at the dates, it's a little. It shows that they started construction and finished it almost 5 years to the day.
Right.
But it took California 12 years to get the funding, and then it took them another 7 years to begin construction. But no, we know how to do it better.
Oh man, you know it just goes to say, it's like, you know, we're really worse than Mexico when it no California is worse than Mexico when it comes to this aspect. Okay, whether it's high speed rail or not, look, it's a train. A train's a train. Okay, well, yes, there's some considerations you have to do when it comes to high speed and having, you know, less corners and that sort of stuff. But I mean, come on. Mexico of all places was able to build it faster than California's still building.
Yeah, and the worst part about it, if you look really closely at the length, it's building it to a longer distance.
Oh yeah.
Even if you say, oh, it's only one set of tracks instead of double tracked. Okay, so we cut it in half, and it's what, 450 miles?
Yeah, that's a lot more.
and they did it in 5 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then it's like, all right, what does it take to double track it? All right, just close the line down for a day, send the train out, lay down the tracks right next to it, and then spend a week, maybe 2.
Oh yeah, like line. How they do it over in in China, how fast they're able to build it down. So I mean, you know, having pre-span sections already built and you're just transporting it over there. So yeah, it can be built a lot quickly.
It's like, all right, what are we gonna do? Well, it's simple. We close the line down at 9, maybe 10 o'clock at night. and then they don't open it up till 4, maybe 5 in the morning. So congratulations, you have 6 to 7 hours to send that train down the line to lay down track. And then you just have...
It's simple.
And then we
cement the Batman.
And then you're just setting everything up to have it double tracking, and then congratulations.
Yeah, it's just silly. So, and not so different. Well, maybe it is a lot more different. It's just, oh man.
Did it ruin your day too much?
No, it didn't ruin it. I mean, I think I made a slight reference to it, but I mean, when you now take everything into perspective and zoom out the graph, it's just at this point, look, you can't ruin my day. It's just another laugh. It's another laugh at California moment. Just point and laugh. It's just, oh man.
Yeah, at the rate it's going, they're going to bring the extension down from Orlando down to Tampa faster than California can just even get out in the easiest part.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Brightline West will be running and operating in California before California finishes its own high-speed rail program, which was already in utero way before Brightline was even an idea. So it's just massive incompetence at this point.
Yeah. Incompetence, corruption, potato.
Yep, it's just what it is, man. All right, anything else you want to add on?
Yeah, for the last 25 seconds, which extension do you think is going to happen first? The Tampa extension, or do you think they're going to go up to Jacksonville first?
No, Tampa. That's definitely what they're going for. They've always said that they're going to go Tampa next, and then afterwards, once they have the Tampa extension completed, they will look at Jacksonville. It's still there on the map. They haven't made any reference to it in the last several years, but I'm pretty sure once Tampa is in the works, you'll be hearing a heck of a lot more about a Jacksonville extension, probably stopping in Daytona and some other places around on the Space Coast. So it will happen.
Yeah, once they get Jacksonville, then it's the argument, send it up to Atlanta so that David can ride on down to Miami for those weeks at the beach.
Yeah, or connected, to the western part of Florida, because it's kind of everybody's kind of missing that part. A lot of people are talking about Gainesville or Ocala or Tallahassee or all the way to Pensacola, but I don't know. That may be a little far-fetched. Let's get to Jacksonville before we even start talking about that.
Yeah, gotta go, and Green Star's next on the list.
Yeah, I see him there. All right, appreciate it. Take care, man.
All right, goodbye.
Take care. All righty, next on the list, let's go to Green Star. Darius, we'll get to you in a bit. Don't worry.
Hi, I haven't been in your stream since the last time.
Hey there.
And
it's been a bit.
Viewers, today let's talk about the fact that on January 13th, 2024, it's finally happening!
Yep, okay, Tri-Rail finally over to Miami Central.
Like, it took so many years! Like, so many years, I mean, I honestly thought it was going to start in 2017 or pretty much earlier, like 2014 or 2013, but there was a lot of delays, and I never wish delays to happen, but they happen. But hey, at least they're here. And a coincidence, though, it's starting on the same day on the anniversary of the Brightline thing. Coincidence?
Oh yeah, I think Brightline did open up on January 13th between West Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale, I think.
Yes. Oh. So, I mean, Tri-Rail is gonna start the Coastal Link thingy this Saturday, and I unfortunately will not be going, but I know I'll get to check that out sometime in like the near future. Yeah,
it'll still be there. Hey, when I was down in South Florida, I didn't have time to really do much of anything while I was there. So I mean, I was squeezed for time, but I was able to see the Aventura station already all spruced up and completed. But the next time I go there, I will take the train possibly between Miami or Aventura just to check it out and say, finally, I have been able to do it. Or maybe Miami to Orlando. So we never know. But yeah, that's at least the good thing is that they're getting people connected, they're finally improving the infrastructure in South Florida. Step by step, we'll finally get something resembling what a first world system should be. And it will be happening, funny enough, in South Florida. So we're getting there.
Well, the last time we had some true rail service was during the Henry Flagler era. And yeah, I wasn't around for that because I wasn't even born yet. But I'm sure it was revolutionary.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were born.
And then it faded away some time, and then of course Treadle came along, and then it was cool. Like it was going to be a 5-year thingy, but then it became permanent because it was so popular. And we got the extensions in the years later, and new stations. Well, new Miami Airport Station opened up in '98, but then the new one opened in 2015. So, and then we got this Brightline thing, which is pretty much, it's been a game changer. Yeah, said it.
Oh, yeah. So, and they'll probably be opening more stations and the talk of having more stations along the US 1 corridor, which will be a pretty big deal in connecting people along there because already Brightline has been a big game changer for that region. So, yeah, we'll just see how everything turns out from there.
So, and after the downtown Miami Link thing, what's next for Triborough? Like going to I don't know, Jupiter.
Yeah, that's part of the coastal link and connecting all the way from the Miami Central Station up to Jupiter and everything in between. So that may, as long as this is taken just to get to Miami Central, I don't know how long it will take for the rest of that, but it's at least there. They're already one step closer, right? That's all we can at least hope for here in the United States is just getting one step at a time. So we're getting there.
Like, and of course it's gonna be super cool. And you know there is this Brightline thing, which is pretty much revolutionized transportation. I mean, we haven't had a high-speed rail thingy since actually, before we had high speed, Japan had it, but it was in the 60s. So countries had it before we came in.
Right.
Like what about Excella? That was like in 2000. Does that actually work?
Yeah, I mean, it's there still. They're getting Avalia at some point whenever they get Alstom to get the trains all spruced up and ready for that. But that's where we're at right now. Anything else you'd like to add?
That there should be Brightline in the Treasure Coast. Yeah, I said it. Brightline Treasure Coast.
Well, they're there. They'll get a station somewhere. We never know where it will be, though.
Just to show you NIMBYs that Brightline is going to exist no matter how much you don't want it.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Okay, well, I'll be back for the next stream.
No worries. Take care.
Yeah, and and I can't wait for the coastal link to happen. It's gonna be super, super ultra cool. And yeah. Yeah, I better get going.
No worries. Take care. Okay, let's go on to, here we are, Director of Research, Darius.
Hi, hello Demetrius, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, how are you doing?
Doing fine, I just started my whole last semester.
That's it,
We're going to graduate.
It's soon enough, man, so hey, don't rush it, especially now, with the way the job market is right now, don't rush it.
But anyways, expanding west, we have expanding west.
West where, to Brightline West or west of Florida?
I mean west of Florida.
Okay.
All the other speakers here, like Green Star and everyone else here, have nailed it. At the west parts of not just Florida as a whole, but also South Florida, particularly Miramar, where it's supposed to be a big suburb where people go to Miami every day. That's going to be quite a challenge.
Yeah, that would be something to see if there's a way to connect over to the west, especially like, Broward and parts like Davie, like you said, Miramar, Pembroke Pines, or that region. And again, those suburbs, and again, the reason those suburbs were built was to build away from what was the more Miami area and build away from there. And then just people just kept going north and north and north as South Florida just kept expanding and expanding.
But then Everglades served as a buffer.
Yeah, and
I
that's
actually drove through the Everglades on 6 months back when visiting Tiffany's. I was going down Alligator Alley, and for such people who are zealous on trying to preserve the environment, they aren't too upkeep about the structures that they've built to try to keep cougars and gators from getting in there.
Yeah, and the panther. What's the population of the panther now? It's not too hot for the Florida panther right now, right? What's it, like 200 in total, or?
I've heard they've been endangered.
They've been endangered since forever, since as far as I know. Let me see, Florida panther population numbers. Talk about getting derailed over here.
Some of the highway barriers in Broward and Miami-Dade County when I go down the expressways are higher and more solidly built than simple little fences on the Everglades.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's at around 200 right now.
Like a house, just like a house fence, but a little higher.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you have to build road infrastructure for cars. Again, cars have their place, but the problem is when you start building asphalt from sea to shining sea, you're going to get all the infrastructure that's part of it as well, because every time there's an exit on a highway, then you have your food deserts, your McDonald's or your Perkins and everything else that's on there. That's the problem when you start building that, because everybody's got to have a rest stop, and then there's all these exits off of highways that you see everywhere in the United States, like that one meme of kids go outside, and this is the outside that the baby boomers built for the kids. So
but as
yeah,
far as development goes on the Everglades, it has, for at least for now, was kept well controlled. It was sparse. There was absolutely nothing there. There was only one gas station operated by Indians right in the middle.
Here we are.
Between Weston and Naples.
There you go. This is the problem when you build cars and car dependent infrastructure. This is what follows all around it. So if you're seeing on the screen there you go. Your McDonald's, your Pizza Hut, your Chevron. Again, this is an older picture, right? This is like early 2000s over here. Your Exxon, your Taco Bell, your Sunoco. Yeah, this is the problem. You can't just have.
Which the local economy, it charge about half the price of what it is now around.
Oh yeah. Oh shoot! Look at the
price, double.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at the price of it back then. Shoot, it was like for $365. What was this during, like Obama or something? Because I remember, yeah, it's got to be. Let me see. I see a 2004 Ford Focus there, and I know because I had one of those. Yeah, this has got to be. This has got to be early Obama or late Bush. Yeah, this is wow.
The gas at the Miccosukee station.
Oh, the Miccosukee.
Compared to other places in Florida, it's about twice the gal. It's about twice the price.
Hey, where else are you going to get gas at that point if you're in the middle of nowhere and there's only one gas station? It's supply and demand. They can charge as much as they want at that point.
Well, then again, it helps their local economy.
Yeah, well, it's part of it. Anything else you want to add on to there, man?
On the bright side, development in the Everglades is kind of capped.
Yeah, at least the protections that have been put on by the federal and state government have protected the Everglades. So at least that's at least something, right? But hey, are you going to go on your birthday? You're going to check out the Tri-Rail platforms opened?
Where?
At Miami Central. They'll have Tri-Rail at the Brightline station in Miami Central. we just talked about it.
Maybe I'll have time.
Yeah, go ahead and check it out. Take some pictures, send it to me, and maybe we'll put it on the channel.
Wow. It's like every major achievement that Brightline has made has been on my birthday.
Yeah, it seems like it, man. You're lucky. You got a lucky birthday there.
Platforms.
Everything's been on your birthday.
No.
All right, and then watch out because we got a gift coming to you. Okay, so don't worry, bro.
Okay. Good night.
All right, good night and happy early birthday before it goes on there.
All right.
Take care. Okay, we're slowly but surely getting through. Oh wow, it's everybody in the audience over here. Okay, let's see, Star Force 97. All right, let's try to keep it a little bit more truncated, guys. We'll get there. 9:20, we gotta cut it off. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. My holiday was pretty epic, and it was actually probably the first time that I did a multi-city trip with Amtrak, and I'm proud to say that actually went very well. All
Nice.
along the Lakeshore Limited, yes.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, so I started off from Chicago to one of the Amtrak stations in Ohio. Stayed there for about a week. Then went to New York and up to Long Island to visit my girlfriend, and then stayed there for a little less than a week. Then came back the full route of the Lakeshore Limited after that. So, yeah, I mean, it really just goes to show like there's a lot of pros and cons with traveling like on Amtrak, and I honestly feel like the Lakeshore Limited is one of the most important long distance corridors on the system. Outside of the Northeast corridor, because you have Chicago, New York, you have the Midwest, and a lot of upstate New York. It was actually part of the former New York Central system.
Right.
And there was, I recommend checking out the video on the 20th Century Limited, where they had special like express trains. Where that could do like over like 100 miles an hour, and it takes and on the New York Central system actually took less time to get between Chicago and New York City than Amtrak's Lakeshore Limited does today.
Oh yeah, no, and you had steam trains back then that could go close to 120 miles an hour. Because I know the Milwaukee F7 there were some reports that it broke the record for steam trains, of course unofficially, but at around 120, and some people swore they saw it at 130 miles an hour. But again, it's just a massive difference to what we were able to do back then with the technology back then, right? Because somebody else mentioned, the flagler system of how they were able to build that back then 100 years ago, across to Key West, all the way across the seas of the Florida Strait there on the overseas railroad. And now look at how long it's taking us to build over in California. Meanwhile, Mexico was able to build a nearly 900-mile rail system in 5 years. So it's just a massive night and day difference to what we've been as a country to what we're at now. But hopefully with how Brightline has changed the paradigm of passenger rail in the United States, there may be hope.
Yeah, and I'm even hearing rumors that Brightline might try to bid for the Texas corridor as well.
That could be a possibility. We just never know.
Exactly. Well, and then one more thing I wanted to touch on. I've been hearing about speaking of Chicago. I feel like the Union Station upgrades has been a long time coming, especially with trying to get the regional rail going, because obviously the way that Metra had the reason why Metra is doing well as it is now is from that emergency money from the pandemic, and that's going to run out soon. So they need to improvise, and one of the things that needs to be done is to upgrade Union Station to allow through running, to allow more meaningful trips and just going between city and suburbs.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been a long time coming for Chicago. So it's funny how Amtrak has finally started to really make major changes, because there really hasn't been much in the last, I would say, 20 years or so, until Brightline started to come about, and now the changes have been rapidly, quickly. The change in their structure, a change in leadership, a change in their vision and outlook, and also their operations, and actually moving ahead and doing the changes and upgrades that they've been needing to do for such a long time.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that is going to be all the points that I have. I'm just wanting to emphasize, I think the Midwest is going to need like more upgrades coming to it. So it's actually, because like the Midwest is like it's like the kind of the backbone of the U.S. in terms of like a lot of things, food production, transportation, and stuff. And if you can make that, if you can prioritize the Midwest like we are like with a lot of other regions in the U.S., I think that, because that's kind of like the middle ground of the U.S., which can really start to connect a lot of the country.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of city pairs that are right close by here in the Midwest, where a lot of potential can be right here, especially with a lot of, because there's been reports that I've been reading about a lot of Gen Zers and younger millennials have been moving to what they call the quieter places in the United States, mainly the Midwest, because it's too expensive for everybody that's moving down south to Florida. So they're moving out of Florida, they're moving out of places like California or Texas, and moving into the Midwest to go ahead and just try to restart there, or in a place that's a little bit less expensive for them. So that's where you're getting a lot of the growth here in the Midwest. Now, hopefully it doesn't turn into another Austin over here in Indianapolis or in some other cities, but you just never know with the systems that'll be connecting much of the country, that there may be a foundational change in the way that we move around and work here in this nation.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Anything you wanted to add? Because we may need to add like a couple more minutes to the stream, but anything else?
I think that's gonna do it.
No worries. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Okay. Let's see. Next on the line, the Holy Donut. Been invited to speak. Welcome aboard.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. So I was thinking, why don't they just? I wonder if Brightline is going to. Could they, in theory, build a track from Miami down to Key West again? Because it was part of the FEC.
It was. Here's,
that would be good for tourism, I think.
It would, but here's the thing. There's less and less tourism going down to Key West. It's not as desirable as it used to be. Let's put it that way. It's not as desirable as it used to be. It's definitely not family friendly anymore. It's kind of like a San Francisco, but on an island. Not as much feces on the floor, but it's. You get what I'm saying over there when it comes to Key West. Yeah. The cost benefit for building something of that magnitude, again, with the current cost structures now when it comes to building something in the United States, it's not like where you had Henry Flagler and he could just throw money at it and people would build it, and they built it in a few years and were able to get it done. This would be a decade-long project at the very minimum, unfortunately. It doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be. But on top of that, there's not going to be that many millions of people that are going to be going down to Key West to go ahead and visit. It's just not worth it to go ahead and build it there. Honestly, there are other options that may be better just connecting to Key West. And I hate to say it, but expanding some sections to have some roads that are not just one lane going down there. But at this point, there's really not much to really there's not much to really demand a construction of an extension down to Key West anymore. It's fun to think about. It would be cool if we could do it, but not worth it at this point. It's just better to just go up north.
Yeah. Also, what's the timeline on Brightline going to Tampa? They start this year, don't they?
I believe they start
building.
I believe, yeah, construction may start late this year. They may get there. The estimated, off the top of my head, 2027 or 2028.
Okay, and Brightline West, they start breaking ground this year too, don't they?
Yep, that will be starting to break down. I think probably in February.
February? Oh yeah, I was curious what the timeline was for that.
Yeah, but we'll keep up with that, and we'll try to bring everybody updates. Now that we're increasing production here on the channel, we're getting back to where we were in our glory days. I would say back in 2019, that was probably our best year. I mean, making several videos that made over 1 million views, so that was good. So we'll get there.
Yeah, I've only been watching you for a year or two now.
I
I've
appreciate.
really been enjoying the content, man.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I know it's been. Some people love the live streams that we do, but our bread and butter has been the long form and short form videos that we used to do. But we're getting back there.
Yeah, and also the thing was the last speaker talking about was Amtrak and Brightline. I think it's good because Amtrak has had a monopoly on the railroad passenger rail service in the U.S. for like 50 years, something like that.
Yeah, and it was sort of an unnatural monopoly because it was just basically forced to have it, and there was really nobody else that wanted to take it. So it wasn't that Amtrak wanted to have a monopoly; it was just forced to have a monopoly.
Yeah, which is good now that Brightline's here because now it's kind of forcing Amtrak to upgrade all their stuff to make their service better.
Oh yeah, no, the increased competition. The thing is that Brightline has been a good influence on everything. I mean, you look what's been going on with Tri-Rail and the amount of partnerships they've been able to do with the state of Florida and other organizations within there, and now with Amtrak's now starting to do similar stuff like they were trying to do over with Texas, and you're going to see more and more of that, and some other players probably jump in that we never thought of before that will jump into the passenger rail space and see what will start. Because it's a very capital-intensive start. It's not like making a startup or ordering a whole bunch of scooters from China and then throwing them all over the street and making no money off of it. This is it's a complete night and day difference. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and the recent map the FRA put out, of all the rail lines they're looking into.
Right. Yeah. For the corridors. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a. I'm glad that they're doing that because hopefully during my lifetime, passenger rail will make a comeback to the U.S.
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely the corridor identification development program. Yeah. Let me put up a map of it here for everybody to see who's watching live. But yeah, that's the thing is that now that the demographics. Or let's put it this way, the age is starting to change of who's in charge here in the United States and where things are moving. So with that, there may be a change to come back to some sort of sanity, at least in the aspect of infrastructure, right? That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, in which I'm 22, and me and my friends are all talking about how we need high-speed rail and just better infrastructure overall. And I also think that I've heard it from both sides politically, so I kind of feel like everybody's on board with high-speed rail.
Oh yeah, I think that's the funny thing about our generation. Like, it doesn't matter if you're hard right or hard left. Everybody wants and thinks that high-speed rail and trains make sense. So that's at least the only thing that we all get along on politically, at least, right?
Yeah, and that's the one thing I do like about my generation and all the younger people.
Yeah.
We can all come together on transportation, really.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate and funny thing is that if either the hard right or the hard left gets control of the trains, somebody's going somewhere on those trains. So it's just it just depends on who's in charge, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, but anyway, hey, they're gonna make trains somehow, so that's at least a good thing. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right,
keep uploading stuff.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. All right, the last two speakers over here. It is 9:23. We can finish by 9:30. We'll be finished by 9:30, so that's at least good. Okay, here we are. Genesis, come on board.
What's up?
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's good. I think you've heard about David Mitchell's memes.
Yeah, we've seen them, man. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've heard that Florida, the FDOT is making some regulations for the Disney monorail. I think you haven't seen that yet.
No, this is news to me. This is interesting. So what's going on with that?
I guess the Florida state legislation legislature passed a bill about handling the Disney monorail system to the Florida Department of Transportation.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so state of Florida begins, and just I can already think of why this is happening already because Disney and the government of Florida have not been getting along in the last couple of years, particularly with Ron DeSantis there. Okay, so here we go. State of Florida begins regulating Disney World monorail. FDOT engineers have met with Disney officials to learn about monorail maintenance. Oh, so this is funny. So Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill giving the state authority to inspect and oversee the privately owned transportation system. Yeah, because since then it's kind of been sort of as an amusement park ride or falling into that regulation, not as a transportation system. But now, yeah, minimum safety standards for operating the trains. The agency has not yet produced any requested records, but an FDOT spokesman told News 6 by email the work is on the way to implement the new law. That's both funny and interesting. That's news to me, man. Any thoughts on it? You there? I think your mic is mute. Your mic is muted. Okay.
Oh.
There you are.
Okay. I've heard about Tri-Rail recently.
Yeah, the opening of the Tri-Rail stops over in Miami Central.
Okay. The 737
Okay, man. I think you're having a whole thing in the background over there. All right. Anyway, I do appreciate the news and everything coming on here, man. Hopefully next time. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Basically, the 737. The problem with the 737 MAX 9, I think Amtrak is laughing at that with Southwest.
Oh yeah, no. This is. I mean, hey, you can't say that now. Airlines are safer than trains at this point because it's. I don't know. You may want to drive at this point, or think about taking a train than going on an airplane at this point. Well, driving is also more dangerous. That's the thing, is because you'll hear whenever there's some sort of airline accident, you're going to hear about it. But with the 46,000 people dying each year on the road, I mean, you're in a lot more danger driving to work every day or driving to school every day than you are going on an airplane. Let's be honest about that too.
Yeah, Southwest is having a bad time since their fleet is consisted of 737 Maxes.
Oh yeah, they're all grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all screwed.
Either that or they'll get a bailout, courtesy of our own taxpayer dollars at some point, whether a shutdown happens or not. So that'll be something. Anyway.
Also, I think that might be an excuse to bring TCR, a perfect excuse to bring Texas Central Railroad.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, if TCR was still out and available right now, they should have had either something to say, look, the trains that we're going to bring on have never had a fatality, or some of the best with the safest transit record in the whole entire planet. That would have been something to say, but unfortunately, that's where it is right now. But it's something that needs to be said. We are planning for the first quarter of this year to come out with a Texas Central video. I think I have it. Let me see. It is, because I have 5 videos planned from here until hopefully the beginning of March, and that's where the Texas, what happened to the Texas Bullet Train project is going to hopefully come out. But anyway, anything else you want to bring in before we head to the next caller?
Oh, one last thing about Brightline. They're actually trying. Well, there's another bill that passed about expanding the service to Tampa. They're using the I-4 corridor there, the median of I-4, I believe.
Yeah, that's been some big news, and making sure to secure that right of way and have it there so they can be able to run through the median of the I-4 or near the I-4 corridor around there. But yeah, that's going to be big. to connect, or again, the three biggest cities in Florida, connecting Tampa, Orlando, Miami, all in one is going to be huge.
All right. I guess I'll see you later till the next live stream.
Appreciate it, Genesis. Thank you for coming on. Take care.
You too.
All right, and the last speaker for today, Renell Reed. You've been invited to come on board. And it is 9:29, so we're a little late. We'll get there. Hello, Renell, you're on. I think your mic is muted. Okay, Renell, your mic is still muted. There you go.
Demetrius?
Yeah, how's it going?
We're doing all right. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. How's everything going for you?
Had a great holiday season.
That's good to hear.
First thing, I want to hopefully see what the ridership numbers on Brightline were after the holidays, like once they release them.
Right. I think we'll probably be getting those sometime in late January or early February once all those numbers are tallied up, or whenever they have their press release. So we'll probably expect it around probably late January. But I'm pretty sure the numbers are far larger than they were last year. And again, as long as they keep making upward progress, I don't expect them to hit the ridership numbers that they initially were talking about, again, with the COOF sort of upending everybody's numbers. But at least now, starting with Orlando now this year and everything starting to go smoothly, there may be, again, there will be an increase in the ridership as time goes on. Given that nothing exciting, no Black Swan events happen between here and then.
And Brightline West got the $3 billion grant. Depending what happens in November, will our next president pull funding from that project and California, just like Trump did California?
I don't think so. At this point,
Brightline West.
At this point, there's only two options that are going to win in 2024, and this is as political as I'm going to get right now. It's either going to be Biden again, or it's going to be Trump.
Right.
I think either way, they're not going to pull funding from Brightline. And again, whoever is at that point, or whoever the Biden administration is run by at that point, whether it's Kamala Harris, if Biden croaks between here and now. But the thing is that you're not going to probably see pulling from Florida, right? Because especially with Trump, Trump is a lot more chummy with Florida. He's now a resident of Florida. He's not going to take that away. He will probably fight with California again on taking away their funding. So that's probably the only project that's in the crosshairs if Trump were to be put back into office, which I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, given that he wasn't able to, whether you think it was stolen or not, or whether it was stolen or not, he was president. He had the power to do whatever he wanted at that point, or more or less, he did it. So I don't know how him being out of office is going to give him more power to win at this point. I don't know, but that's the political I'm going to get there. I'm not going to focus too much on the federal side of politics, unless it's money being given to rail projects, which is as best it can be.
And it was given to Brightline West.
Yeah, so that's good. I don't think Brightline West will have that taken away either way, whoever is president, whether it be Trump or the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, hopefully someday we'll see Acela versus Brightline Northeast Regionals. I'd like to see those.
That would be fun. I think if the Northeast region were to run similar to how Spain has their high-speed rail system run, in which you have the infrastructure there, but you have different services running on it. That would be interesting to see. I doubt we're going to see anything like that in the next 30 years. Maybe, I don't know, but it's never too. You can always hope, right? You can always hope.
There have been members of the group saying that a model like that wouldn't work because passenger trains are, money losers.
Well, I don't know if members of this group are saying that, but no, passenger trains.
American Rail Club group.
Oh, I don't know here, but I know you have your regular detractors that always say that passenger rails don't make money, which there are plenty of passenger rail systems that absolutely do make money. In fact, some of them make a heck of a lot more money than a lot of other modes of transportation. Again, it's making sure you have the right system in the right place with the right operation to make a profit off of that, right? Like any other business. If you run it right, you can make money. So it's having that there.
And you said if we have competition between passenger rail companies, they wouldn't lose money. They'd make money.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody would make money.
Oh, yeah. And I think it probably helps to go ahead, and I probably will look at this at some point, is looking at Spain's model and seeing how much those companies make in each services, and sort of doing a cost-benefit analysis and really deep diving into that and really seeing how that model can be adapted to some place in the United States. Because let's say, I would say the Northeast Corridor and the Midwest would be perfect for that, right? Especially the Midwest, like we did before, we put put Spain on top of the Midwest. Again, similar population numbers, similar city distances. It's possible to do a system like that. So again, it's all about, do we have the political will to do it? At this point, we're starting to get there, but it's definitely not enough to get to that level.
Even in my neck of the woods, I think it could work.
Oh, yeah.
A model like that.
Oh, yeah, especially in New York and upstate New York, and connecting either to Canada or to the rest of the Northeast Corridor. Oh, yeah. Again, it's just once you have regions connected within each other, it's connecting other regions to other regions. And there you go. You've built out an entire system. So that's what you have to focus on, is focus within connecting cities within a region.
And Florida is, I think, is a large reason why Amtrak is doing what they're doing now.
Yeah. Without Brightline, this would not be happening. We wouldn't even be talking about this. We'd still be in the same place we were 10 years ago.
You see how it's having it's a ripple effect.
Oh, yeah. And a very positive one at that, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else you wanted to add there, Renell, or you're all good?
Oh, the Tri-Rail coming. They had been talking about that for years.
Yeah. And I think that it just goes to show the positive effect that Brightline has. Again, with now getting Tri-Rail to get involved and having them coming into their station and then connecting the US 1 corridor there in South Florida. So it's been good all around.
Isn't it like a shuttle train?
It's a commuter rail. Heavy commuter rail, yeah.
They said it. Articles I seen said it would have a transfer.
With the train itself, I think that article was incorrect. It's not a bus; it's an actual train. It's kind of like Metro.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, man, I appreciate you coming on and sharing the news with us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I know I'm a little late to the game, but that's all right.
No worries. Take care, man. Take care.
You too.
Okay, so that is it for the audience there. It's 9:38. We'll be closing out at 9:40. So there we go. Okay, we're there. Let me see if there's anybody here in the chat if they wanted to build it out. A2R Gaming said Tren Maya built out the system at a rate of 1 kilometer per day on average. So yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, about 5 years, 1,000 or so kilometers, or 1,500 kilometers. So yeah, about a kilometer a day. So there you go. If we could build at that same rate, that would be very good. If we could get there. Here in the club car, the scotch is kicking. Yeah, we gotta bring back the lounge or something like that. I mean, if we were to do sponsors or something, maybe we would do alcohol. Maybe that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. It's good to have it have it a day here or there, but never have it in excess, right? Nothing in excess is good at all. Okay, but let's close out the poll over here. Who will win the RFP in Florida? 91% say Siemens. Only 9% say Alstom. So there we go with 22 votes. A not so scientific poll, but let's see where we go from there. But anyway, thank you all for coming on board on this wild ride here into 2024 on the American Rail Club. It is going to be an interesting year, a fantastic year. I hope I don't jinx it by saying that, but it will be good. Thank you all for coming on board. We will see you all next time, and Godspeed. Take care.